You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
White women are the biggest hindrance to moving racial equality forward because we have more influence over the raising of our children than anybody else.
America is not a racist country.
It never fails. Every video I make, there is a constant stream of butthurt white women and sometimes white men in my comment section saying that I'm stirring up racism because I'm holding us to account. When here is the reality. Who raised Peyton? Who raised him? Was it black people that raised him? No, it wasn't. This is who raised him. This is his mother and his father. Now, what do you notice about Becky? Exactly. It is white women who are raising these white terrorists.
Another one.
We raise them, we create them, we rear them, and we want to pretend like we don't have any idea where they got their ideologies from. So how was it, you tell me, who raised him with these ideologies? And giving them credit, saying that they didn't raise him with these ideologies, and that's giving a lot of credit where none is due. Why did they not recognize this pattern, and what did they do about it to stop it? These deaths lie in the hands of his parents just as much as they do on him.
Jesus Christ.
And that is being raised by white parents. This is why I call us to account. This is the reason that I call us on our own, because it is us who is birthing them. It is us who is raising them. It's us who is rearing them. It's us who is overlooking all of these red flags that are enough to create an entire field of red flags. It is us. It is us. It's always been us. Racism starts with us and racism will end with us. It is our job to dismantle racism because it was us who first assembled racism. I don't care if that makes you angry. I don't care if you're in my comment section telling me that I'm a race traitor or whatever you want to say. No, I'm just a decent human being who says that it is time that we own our, and we realize that it is us who is raising them. It is us who is creating these monsters. So what the hell are you going to do about it? Because I'll tell you, as a mother of 3 sons, I will die before I raise one of these. And they know that. Do your kids know that? What are you doing to stop this cycle with your beautiful babies? It creates this toxic environment. The only way to undo this is to teach them true history, to teach them our role in history and in racism and all the atrocities that we've caused people of color, black, brown, and indigenous throughout the history of our nation. And we have to create them to be anti-racist. It's not enough just to not be racist. You have to be anti-racist. No free passes for anybody ever, anywhere. I don't care if that's your pastor. I don't care if that's your son's coach. I don't care if it's your cousin, your mother, your father, your aunt, your uncle, your brother. I don't give a damn. Whoever it is that is spouting these ideologies and these racist rhetoric, you have to call them to account.
It's okay.
It's not okay, though. It's not, you know.
And that, my friends, is what accountability looks like. When somebody who is of the majority decides to go on the internet and want to hold not only themselves, but their own people accountable. They want to shine a direct spotlight and they want to showcase the wrongful nature and how it is that these things are taught and how these ideologies and these beliefs and these talking points are pushed. And she stated what? It starts directly from home. Now, the moment of time that you decide to tell Caucasian individuals this very same thing, this is when people want to start crying. This is when people want to start deflecting. This is when they'll get somebody who is black to speak for them against black people, which is a whole nother story within itself. And they'll try to set up the story to make it seem like, oh, well, it's not just us doing this thing, it's a lot of other people doing this too, but nobody wants to pay attention to it because these people don't look a certain type of way. Isn't that interesting how everything, and they want to spout and go into that whole nonsense. But again, as she stated, her own people, both male and female, have both come against her because she is talking against them and the society that they have specifically taken part of, been a part of, and also raised children in, and also allow, as she stated, pastor, coworker, whoever it is, to spout this exact same nonsense and state the things that they want to state and not pay attention to the truth that is directly in front of them. So the examples that are in front of you, who raised these individuals? Who raised these true Americans? Because I can tell you they didn't come from the black community. I can tell you they're not representation of the black community. I never gone to school with any of these individuals, never seen them ever before in my life, but I promise you, people of a different community have seen them or have seen people like them or just like them. And it's funny that when these people happen to show up in their community, they ignore them. They don't pay them attention. They don't try to perform some type of psychological evaluation, get them the treatment and the medication that they need so that they can prevent certain things from transpiring, which can culminate and end up at a point where people will lose their lives. But yet again, these are the same exact people who say that they care about the lives of people, right? They say all the time, all lives matter, right? But yet, when it comes to these circumstances, it's not really like that. Because when you really look at it, they don't even care about their own lives, correct? Because they're allowing their own people to do this, not just right to them, but to the American public. And that's pretty shocking. Again, going back to the whole notion that they consistently state and still state that everybody matters, right? Not just one specific group, but everybody matters. So the main question would be, if everybody matters, then why is it that these incidences are allowed to take place? Now, I can rattle off a few things that I feel um, go along with the point of why it is that these incidences are allowed to take place, one of which have to do with the ownership of weapons and how it is that the United States government is going to use these examples and they're going to gather, they're going to allow this to go as far as it can go up until the American people decide that, hey, we're going to vote to basically make ourselves like New Zealand or to make ourselves like Japan or the UK or a lot of other places out here who their citizens are not able to hold weapons, which means their citizens are not able to specifically protect themselves from anybody that is domestic or that is outside of the United States if anything were to take place. That is one of the main larger things, the main larger points that I would actually like to just have stick directly out there. Because at the end of the day, yes, the loss of life that takes place is very tragic. It should not happen at all. But there is a multitude of ways in order to circumvent this issue and this problem. One of which that I've stated before is that you can have a lot of the retired military men and women. They can patrol outside of these schools, have a show of force directly out there so that everybody knows that their kids are relatively safe. I'm pretty sure that if you had military or retired military presence around these schools, that a lot of people would feel a lot more safe when it deals with their kids being away from home, 8 hours out of the day and them being away, 15, 30 or whatever amount of minutes or hours it is that it would take a parent to basically either come from home or work in order to get to that school and to make sure that their child is a-okay. Again, I need people to really pay attention to the larger picture and how it is that these events have been used in order to usher in a lot of different legislation, either things that we know of that was, put out by the public or maybe even the government or other individuals on social media, and the other ones that have been quietly pushed while we've all been distracted by a variety of different things that's been going on. Like I said, at the end of the day, this is about one primary thing. But due to the fact that everybody is all over the place and worried about a variety of things, people aren't really going to notice up until it is too late. And the main thing that I've always stated is that when it is too late, it is too late. And there's nothing that you're going to be able to do about it in order to turn back time. So the best thing for people to do is to actually research, to get as much information as possible. And again, get as much information as possible and react to the actions that the government is specifically doing and allowing in order to gain and get more control over the people.